With its highly integrated design, advanced technology and close to clinical features, the TV50, TV55 transport ventilators are dedicated to creating the industry's smallest and easiest to use yet powerful electric transport ventilator, designated to make the process of transferring mechanically ventilated patients easier and more reliable. We will introduce the four aspects of the machine: appearance, circuit connection, basic operation, cleaning and disinfection. Above the screen is the main unit handle and alarm light. The TV50 has a 7-inch capacitive display which does not require calibration and has been tested with 6 layers of gloves for flexibility. On the right side of the screen are the on-off button, power status indicator, outdoor mode off battery indicator button, lock screen button, alarm sound pause button, and the main control knob, which can be rotated and pressed to select options. On the left side of the machine are the high-low pressure oxygen inlet, the HEPA air inlet, and the DC power connector. When connecting the red dot on the power input connector, it's aligned with the red dot next to the main unit's power connector and plugged in, and when you hear a pop sound, it means that the installation is in place. When unplugging the DC power input connector from the main unit, pinch both sides of the red dot on the connector and pull it outward. On the top of the back of the main unit is the main unit handle, which is used to hang on the handrail during transportation. Below the handle is the external interface area of the ventilator with a USB interface to support data transfer and a network interface to connect to the hospital network. On the right side of the main unit are the inspiratory port, expiratory valve control port, and proximal flow sensor port. Connecting the expiratory valve to the ventilator expiratory valve control port with a pressure sampling tube. Connecting the ventilator interface to the breathing circuit. Connecting the expiratory valve to the proximal flow sensor. Connecting proximal flow sensor sampling tube to ventilator interface. Connect the tracheal extension tube. Wrap the patient line and the proximal flow sensor sampling tube with a line protector. After connecting the patient circuit, press the power on button to turn on the power. The alarm indicator flashes once, each in the order of blue, yellow, red, and the device will sound self-check-in tone of the speaker and buzzer once each. The screen then enters the standby interface. To ensure that the machine is functioning well, it is recommended that a system self-test to be performed prior to ventilation. Before performing the system self-test, please disconnect the patient from the device and make sure there is an alternate ventilation method to support patient ventilation. The system self-test interface will display the date and time of the most recent system self-test and the overall self-test results. Follow the instructions to connect the air source proximal flow sensor and close the breathing circuit. After completion, select Continue. The system begins to self-test one item at a time. Please follow the prompts to open the breathing circuit during the proximal flow sensor test. The total self-test results after the completion of all self-test items are as follows. Patient type, invasive, non-invasive ventilation can be selected and more information can be set by clicking on the patient information area. The standby interface allows you to adjust the parameters below. In the ventilation mode setting area, select the ventilation mode button that needs to be set. The pop-up menu shows all the ventilation parameters that need to be set for this mode. Select parameter, press and rotate the main control knob to adjust the parameter. When adjusting the parameter, the floating window will show the change of the parameter related to it. Press the main control knob again to confirm the parameter. Select the More button to display other ventilation settings. The TV50 ventilation interface supports the display of up to 3 current ventilation modes, and the most frequently used ventilation mode can be selected in the ventilation mode settings. In standby mode, enter the System Setup menu, Defaults, and you can choose to use the current settings as the defaults or restore the factory defaults. Alarm management. TV50 accompanies the alarm sound. Click the alarm button on the main interface, the current alarm in the open interface, and you can view all current alarms. The number of alarm information, alarm relationship, alarm chain, alarm occurrence time, and alarm level information, historical alarm, and also graphically display the measures recommended to be taken after the alarm occurs. Alarm settings are straightforward with one click. In addition to this, it is possible to set ventilation alarm limit, view recent alarms, and set alarm volume. Alarm setting. Click the alarm button to set the ventilation alarm limit, or click Auto Alarm Limit. The ventilator will update the parameter alarm limit according to monitoring value. After setting the machine ventilation mode and parameters, ventilation can be started. For oxygen therapy ventilation, connects a single line and nasal cannula. Set the flow rate and oxygen concentration and click Start Ventilation to start the treatment. From top to bottom, from left to right are ventilation mode, patient interface prompts, patient icon area, inspiration trigger prompt area, prompt message area, and alarm message area. Network icon area, USB icon area, system time, power status icon area, oxygen cylinder and oxygen flow rate icons, waveform monitoring area, monitoring parameter area, special function area. This ventilator has an oxygen consumption monitoring function that monitors the rate of oxygen consumption. After clicking on the cylinder icon to enter the current pressure and volume of the cylinder and start ventilation, you can monitor the remaining time of oxygen supply from the cylinder. Optionally, you can turn the oxygen consumption calculation on or off. Click the menu System Setup, Settings, Display Time. Optionally turn on or off the display of time remaining on oxygen cylinders. Select Special Function in Settings, Screen, Shortcuts. The Screenshot button in the Special Function area can store 50 screenshots and the data can be exported via USB flash drive. The Manual button in the Special Function area by short or long press can activate the manual breathing function and inhalation hold function. After inserting the USB flash drive, you can click the top USB flash drive button to enter the data transfer interface. You can export screenshots, system logs, and transfer settings. Further down, there is the mode and parameter setting area. Ventilation waveform display, ventilation mode display, and monitoring parameter display can be customized by clicking the icons directly on the interface. It is convenient for doctors to make settings according to their own habits. In addition to the waveform interface, the loop diagram, monitoring values, and large lung interface can be accessed by sweeping the screen. Tap the standby button to return to the standby screen. HEPA filter and dust screen, air inlet dust screen, exhalation valve in a patient line. The HEPA filter is directly replaced, the rest can be sterilized by soaking in sterilized water. The TV50 ventilator is powerful, lightweight and safe, and I believe it will play a great role in a subsequent use of the department transfer and patient health protection. If you have any questions during the use, please contact Mindray customer service.